In this section, we are going to look at widgets in more detail. Now, widgets are essentially little design elements that you can add to the front end of the site. So for example, in our template 2 example, we have widgets for headers, for little snippets of text, for buttons, more headers, more text. We have a grid system set up here. We have text with a picture behind it. We have a video, and so on and so forth. Now, the disclaimer is I started making these tutorials when the version number was 3.011. And I'm going to continue with this version number just for the sake of continuity. However, in the meantime, there have been updates. So just to get a broad view here, this is where I started out here, around about here in March. And since then, there's been quite a number of updates, specifically in the whole widget area. So what I'll do is I'll end up tacking on a little end to this video with some of those extra widget functionalities. So I think at this point, it's pretty obvious we're looking at the home page. We've got the site template, which is assigned specifically to the home page. And that's the template we need to look at. And we go into the template options. And we go into the layout section, and this corresponds to basically how the home page is set up. Now we've seen that we can add widgets. We're not going to do that here because we're just basically sticking to the template 2 and the way it is already set up. So we have all kinds of things here. We have the top bars. We looked at them previously. We've got the header section. This is where we are here. We have got the menu set up. And we got a couple of essentially text elements here. So the powerful Joomla framework, the Astroid framework title, and the little motto here, open source framework. So we can come in and we can edit any of these much as you would edit a text element in a word processor. So we can change, for example, the font. We could change the color. And indeed, we could change the text here. And save, and refresh. And we have changed here the widget, and this is how it looks in the front end. We've got a button widget here, which obviously corresponds to these two buttons here, download and change log. Let's come in here to the button widget in the back end and edit it. And at this point, we need to go down one more level. We have the two buttons set up here. Let's just edit the buttons. We could change the link. We could change the formatting. And we need to, at this point, apply inside the button. If I do not press apply and click save changes, I get a little warning telling me, are you sure you know what you're doing? I'm going to press cancel. I'm going to press apply. And whilst we're in here, let's do something else. Let's do the other button. And we'll call it DEF. And we're going to take a different style. Let's do a warning. And let's turn off the outline style. And apply again. And save the change. Save it. And refresh. So now we see the buttons look a little bit different. Let's just add one more button, just for a laugh. Add item. And we're going to call this one, I don't know, change log, new features. And we're going to take a different style. Let's do whatever, info. And again, we have to press that little apply button and we save it and refresh. Let's look at the grid widget. We see that here in the front end. We've got, I'm actually going to switch to another browser because this split view here is kind of messing with the formatting slightly. We see the grid here and we got 3 columns and we got elements in each one of these columns. Let's have a look at this in the back end. So for example, speaking of the columns, we could let's just swap to one column for the minute. Save changes, and here are the elements here. The drag and drop layout builder, responsive, and customization. Save this. We're now in one column rather than in multiple columns. Save it, and refresh. So I think that's pretty obvious what is going on there. Let's go and put it back the way it was. And we go back to 3 columns. We can come in here, similar to in the title functions, we can change the name of these things, and we can come in here and change the icons. So I'm going to just take some absolute random icons here. I've been playing with this already, as you can see, and I could come in here and, as always, do all kinds of insane formatting as well. Save changes. And now I've broken my own rule. Cancel. I need to come up here and look for that little apply button and save the changes. Save it and refresh. We've changed the icon, and we've changed, in this case, actually the colors for all of the icons in the grid in one file swoop. Let's come in here and change a couple of more things. Grid, edit. Let's now add an item, and note that we have the option to add another icon. Let's just do that. And we're going to call it another icon. We're going to select an icon, take something at random, a calculator, apply, very important, I forgot that the last time, save, and refresh. And now we have our new icon down here, and of course we could come in here and add a little descriptive text to this icon here and the header for the icon. Let's come in here and do one more thing, add another item, and this time around, rather than taking an icon, let's take an image. Let's select an image, and we're going to take the bicycle, and let's put in a description here. Apply and save the changes. So, and we could actually maybe put in a title here as well. Title is here, my new bike. Apply, save, and refresh. So that's the grid, which allows you to add icons and text and headers and indeed images to build a grid. And of course you can edit the grid to have different types of column settings, be it 1 column, 2 or 3 or whatever. Just a couple of examples of how widgets can help you to take your site to the next level. All very easy, all very intuitive, lots of options, and indeed more options in the works. So I mentioned previously I was going to do a little appendix about some of the new widget functionality that was introduced here with Astroid 3.0.12. So far we have been building everything here in this series with Astroid 3.0.11. Now I have another site here set up in a parallel universe, and this is also built with the 2 template. It is a little bit newer, so I'm going to get the flavor here for the home section first. We see it's 3.1.1 at this point, and we're going to compare some of the new functionality. And we're going to take one simple example, that being the header up here at the top. So let's have a look at that. We're in 3.0.11. And we go to the template options, to the layout section. And we're looking for here, powerful Joomla framework for Joomla developers. That's here. That is the header. And we come in here and we see we've got 3 tabs: general settings, design settings, responsive settings. And as we've seen, this is applied just to the home page because this template 2 flavor is only applied to the home page. So previously, with 3.011 and below, if we had wanted to add a new header here, we would have had to apply it to different templates and assign different templates to different pages. Now let's come in here to the updated version, and this has been in Astroid now for quite some time now at this point. It just takes time to make these tutorials. In we go, template options, into the layout section, and we see here the header here is, could you do with some help editing your film? Let's come in here. Could you do with some help editing your film? That's up here. Let's come in and look at how to edit it. And now we see we've got a new setting up here, and it's called menu assignment. So this is now new and is currently set to on all pages, which can be a little bit deceptive because this template is only applied to the home page. So if we come out here and we go to the menu assignment, we see it's only set to the home page. But let's now look at some other examples. Let's go to editing. Now we've got a different header up here. Let's go into the default template for this site here. We see we're on a more up-to-date version. Template options, into the layout section, and now we see we've got different headers. Here we've got, do you want a seasoned editor? Do you want a seasoned editor? And let's come in here and look at the options. And we see here menu assignment. And in here we see we have this assigned to editing. Let's come in here and look at the next one. We go to samples. Do you want to get? Here we go. In we go. Menu assignment. And we see this is assigned to sampling. And I think you get the idea. Each one of these little headers is inside the Astroid template 2 default template, but it is assigned to different pages on a page-by-page basis. So about is going to be down here, and about. I guess maybe just on a very, very final note, we can add elements in here, and we've got more elements now. So for example, the video widget is very new. I think it came out literally in this version, this 3.1.1 version. And it's all sorted a little bit so that it's a little bit easier to find things. So we've got categories now, system, utility, Joomla, typography. So the headers and the text which we've had a look at, and the media. So it's a little bit different and a lot of new widgets coming out, and indeed this little option to be able to assign widgets on a menu by menu basis is something that people have been asking for some time now, and it has been implemented. That's it for widgets. I think probably in the next tutorial we'll probably slowly wind this all up and have a look at some of the blog functionality. I hope this all helps. Thank you for your time.